Penetration test of bituminous materials, experiment number 1. Title: An experiment to determine penetration grade of a given asphalt cement sample and to ascertain its conforming to ASTM specifications. The penetration test plays a critical role in determining the performance and behavior of bitumen under different environmental conditions such as the temperature and the traffic loading by measuring the depth of penetration. This figure shows the apparatus which we used in this test, having a needle and a scale calibrated on it and a 5-second timer. These are the bitumen sample which we have to test. Now the scale used in the penetration test of bitumen is a graduated scale that has a depth of penetration and the needle weight is of 100 grams. The scale is typically calibrated in units of 0.1 millimeter, which is approximately 0.004 inches and has a range of approximately 0 to 50 millimeter. And that is 0 to 2 inches. The scale is usually divided into two parts. Number one part is the major deviance, making marked in whole numbers, which are 1, 2 and 3. And then there are the minor deviance marked with the smaller lines or numbers 0.1 like 0.2, 0.3, etc. The scale allows the operator to read the penetration depth directly, usually to nearest 0.1 millimeter, which is approximately 0.004 inches. This precise measurement enables accurate determination of the bitumen's consistency and hardness. While measuring the depth of penetration in the bitumen sample, we have to be very careful in one aspect that the scale we use have a zero calibration, that it should coincide with its 0 point. A 0 point calibration marked to ensure accurate measurement, a clear and legible font for easy reading, and a durable and resistant material to withstand regular use. This is a apparatus. Theoretical background. In the ancient past, we have a method to determine the consistency and hardness of a bitumen, which is from chewing. The penetration test is this penetration test is the oldest asphalt test. The basic principle of the penetration test was to determine the depth to which a truncated number 2 sewing needle penetrated an asphalt sample under specified conditions of load, time and temperature. This is the solid form of bitumen. We have this form. We have the bitumen in this form, and then we heat this sample to have a sample according to our need to check the consistency and hardness. The penetration of bitumen is defined as the distance in tenths of millimeter that a standard needle vertically penetrates in a sample of bitumen under known conditions of loading, time and temperature. Small penetration value indicates that the bitumen is hard, while the high penetration value indicates that the bitumen is soft. This can be verified that when the bitumen having a greater consistency or workability, it will be soft and it will give a greater value of penetration, that is high penetration. So then the bitumen is soft. When its penetration is small, we have the bitumen as a harder substance, or its consistency or workability will be low. Then there will be a small penetration. The penetration test of bitumen is generally a laboratory test used to determine the consistency and hardness of bitumen, which is a key component of asphalt. Uh, Penetration test is widely used test in field of road construction and maintenance, specifically designed to evaluate the consistency and hardness of bitumen. These are some salient points of the test, that why we use this apparatus or this test in the evaluation of the penetration or evaluation of the grade of the bitumen. Number one point is that an empirical test which grades asphalt cement near average in service temperature, that we can check the we can carry out the test in our normal temperature, or we can say in our room temperature. Number two point is that apparatus is of low capital cost. Apparatus is not of too much cost. It is cheap, having a low cost, a quick method which can be used in the field labs. Generally we can have this apparatus in our fields or labs. Both we can have the apparatus in both conditions. If you want to check the consistency or hardness on the site or in the laboratory, we have the both choices. Precision of the test is also well established. This is also a key value to this apparatus or test. Test can also be used for knowing temperature susceptibility of asphalt. Similar penetrations at 25 degrees centigrade do not reflect wide differences in asphalt, but there may be wide differences. Scope of the test. This method covers determination of the penetration of semi-solid and solid bituminous materials, which I have stated earlier that the solid bitumen, the bitumen comes in solid form and also as semi-solid form. When we heat that solid bitumen, we will have a semi-solid form or a liquid form of bitumen. The needles, containers and other conditions described in this test method provide for the determinations of penetration up to 500. The behavior of bituminous materials very significantly will change in temperature. This is obvious that if the temperature changes, if we are testing the material at 50 degrees centigrade, it will have a greater consistency, and if we have a temperature of room temperature or we have a temperature below the room temperature, which is 10 to 15 degree, we will have a different behavior of bitumen under that temperature. Number 4, it is therefore important to use the appropriate grade of bitumen that is best suitable for the climatic conditions of the project area. Now the whole procedure, the whole significance of the test is to determine the grade of the bitumen. So there will be ease to call the bitumen grade or to evaluate the bitumen grade that will be used in different sites or in different places. This figure shows the paver machine which is laying asphalt along with the bitumen content and aggregates. Procedure. Number one step is to soften the bitumen by heating it up to 90 degree to bring it to a pouring consistency. Number two, we have to pour the bitumen into a container to a level that when cooled to testing temperature, depth of bitumen should be at least 10 millimeter more than the expected depth of penetration. This is a critical point that we must have a depth of bitumen 10 millimeter or more, because when we have a less depth, it will cause some errors and the result will not be too much accurate. Number 3, place the prepared sample at a room temperature for 1 hour. Then number 4, place the container below the needle of the penetrometer and gradually lower the needle to make a contact with the bitumen. Ensure that the needle is just in contact with the sample and no penetration is affected. We don't have to freely fall the bitumen. We don't have to freely fall the needle upright the bitumen. Instead we have to adjust the needle just right on the spot of the sample. Just the needle's tip touch the sample, then we have to freely drop it till 5 seconds. Press the push button of the control box to release the needle. The needle will penetrate the sample under its own mass of 100 gram, which I have discussed earlier that its total mass which the needle exerts is of 100 gram. And the timer we have there is 5 seconds, and after that it will stop automatically. Note down the readings. Number 6, we have to make at least 3 determinations at points on the surface of the sample not less than 10 millimeter from the side of the container and not less than 10 millimeter apart, whose values do not differ by more than 2 or 4 for penetration, 0 to 49 or 50 to 149 respectively. Number 7, at least 2 samples should be tested for the grade determination. Number 7 point is also very critical, because if we want to achieve a greater accuracy, then we have to test multiple samples. At least we have to test 3 samples. Perform the calculations. Now these reading 1, reading 2 and reading 3 are the 3 samples reading we have obtained by the apparatus. We have obtained from the scale graduated on the top of the apparatus. Penetration grade. To specify the grade of the bitumen at a particular location, we need to consider the following factors. Number 1, we have the climate. Number 2, we have traffic. Number 3, we have road conditions. And number 4, we have the altitude. The grade are basically based on 2 types. That is the one viscosity grade, and number 2 there is a performance grade. Viscosity grade are generally 10, 20, 30, 40, and the performance grade are generally as 64 to 22, 70 to 28, etc. Discussion on results. We have to then discuss these results in the light of the following information. Average penetration should tally and fall within the range specifying a penetration grade and is reported as a whole number. Not there will be any fraction number or point number, for example 40.5 or 50.5. It will not be a fraction or a point, it will be a whole number. The specification for penetration graded asphalt cement, the standard we use is ASTM D946 are tabulated. These are the penetrations at 25 degrees centigrade. We have 40 to 50 grade, 60 to 70 grade, then 85 to 100, then 120 to 180, then we have 200 to 300. If we have a penetration value between 50 to 60, then it will be considered as no grade. Means that asphalt has no grade. 50 to 60 means no grade. 40 to 50 have a grade, then 60 to 70, then 85 to 100, then 120 to 180, and then 200 to 300. Thanks for watching.